good to be today with Derek Murphy. So Derek's a friend of mine. I think we've met at a couple of events, and he does a lot of things. So he's an author, nonfiction author. He's trying to be a fiction author. He's a designer as well. So Derek, why don't you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
Sure. Mostly I've been helping. I was a book editor, and then I became a book cover designer. So I've been helping other people publish and design their books for several years. Um, and in that process, I had to learn a lot about marketing, because authors will always tell me, like, they'll pay a lot of money for editing and then book cover design, and then it won't sell at all. And so they'll ask, what can I do now? What's next? So I learned a lot about book marketing. Now I feel like I have all the right skills to be very successful as an author, but I don't have my own content. So I've been focusing on fiction. So since I'm starting fiction, I have a platform for nonfiction and other stuff, but I have nothing for fiction. So I had to build up a really big platform really quickly. And so that's kind of what I've been working on recently, is just how do I get a lot of traffic? How do I get a lot of followers or readers that I can get in touch with, so that when my book is ready, I can tell them to go buy it or download it. And I want to have all that stuff built up before I publish. So that's what I've been working on.
Interesting, and you've had pretty good results, I think, from your first few weeks. So I read a post that said you got over 8,000 subscribers to your mailing list in a week. So how do you pull it off?
Yeah, now it's like 10,000, and I'm gonna do another contest next week. I'll show you kind of what I'm doing. And so I'd like to get up to 20,000 kind of before Christmas. It gets expensive if you're doing giveaways, because you're giving away a lot of stuff. And those people who sign up to the giveaway may not be earners, like they may not spend money on your books. People will say if people sign up for giveaways, then they don't really want to pay for stuff. They just want free stuff. But that's still really valuable, because you can get book reviews, or you can get them to download the book for free and boost your free rank up really high. So there's still reasons that I'm doing it, but it won't make sense to keep doing giveaways long term if I'm spending a lot of money.
Makes sense. So you've used only giveaways to build this 10,000 readers?
Yeah, I've just done 2 giveaways. So I've been giving away packages of 10 best-selling signed books in my genre. And I do, instead of giving away my own books or something like that, because they don't know who I am, they won't be interested in my stuff. I'm just giving away famous best-selling books that they know about and already want, and they're signed, and it's a bunch of them together with some extra fun stuff. So they've been really popular. And the nice thing about giveaways is that other people share for you. So I'll do targeted Facebook advertising to reach maybe 1,000 people, and then those 1,000 people will share really hard to try to win it. So they'll promote it to all their friends. So it's really easy to kind of, it's not exactly going viral, but I mean, you get quite a bit of traffic. And then there are other benefits, like besides signing up for their list, they'll probably follow you on Twitter or Facebook. So I've gotten a few thousand followers on my social media platforms this week too, which is good, especially for social proof. Like if you have a new author website and you have your Twitter and your Facebook icons that show the numbers, and you only have like 20 or 30 people, that's going to hurt your credibility. So if you can use a giveaway to boost those up past 1,000, I think 1,000 is kind of the level, like before people take you seriously. If people land on your page by accident and they see less than 1,000 followers, they'll just think you're not really a big deal. So I try to push those numbers up pretty quickly.
Makes total sense. And so you said that in order to win this giveaway, readers have to share the giveaway as well?
Right. And there's 2 giveaway software that I like that do it pretty well. One is King Sumo, and the other is Rafflecopter. And it's all automatic and built in, so that people sign up with their email list, and then they get a special link. And if they share their special link, the software keeps track of how many people are clicking their link and signing up to the giveaway. So it does all that automatically. It goes automatically into my Mailchimp account, so that the emails are just there, and I can start sending out emails. So I can set those up, like when people subscribe, they get a welcome email. And then there's things you can do, like a few times in the middle of the contest, you'll want to email everybody and remind them how the contest works and that they could be sharing. And I try to give them some extra graphics, because if they just share like text, it's not that effective. But if I make them some really nice graphics that they can use to share, that's better for both of us.
That makes sense. So kingsumo.com and rafflecopter.com, are these the?
I think so.
This is the one. Okay, cool. And
Rafflecopter is cheaper. There's a free version, and then there's something that's like $18 a month. King Sumo is like $200, I think, but it's lifetime for one site. And you could actually, you get a one site license. So I'd put it on one site if I want to build the traffic on that site, but then I put it on other sites like one at a time, because the other nice thing about contests is all those people who are sharing, they're linking back to your site. So you can put something on your site and get a few thousand links from social media or from Pinterest, from other people's websites. So it's really good for kind of building SEO and traffic as well.
Yeah, definitely, it makes sense. It makes sense to leverage this kind of automated referral programs that these two platforms have already built in.
And it's much easier than like trying to build great content that people share. I've done that for a long time, and it takes work. And even if it's really good, you're not going to get that many shares or follows or likes. So a contest is really pretty powerful. And it doesn't have to be, I mean, I've been buying 10 books, so it's like $250 plus some Facebook advertising per contest. But you could just do 5 books. You could go to a secondhand shop and buy a bunch of stuff. You could kind of just make your own package. And the nice thing, the other reason to use best-selling books is that I can target best-selling authors' platforms really specifically. So if I know, if I'm writing thrillers and I want people who like Stephen King are going to like my books, then I do like every Stephen King book ever written as one big package that Stephen King fans will really like. Maybe I can order them online or just find them somewhere. Then I can just go on Facebook and say, people who like Stephen King, show them this contest. It's going to be really successful.
So these authors that you include in your giveaway, are these authors you know, or you just purchase the signed books from their websites or their agents?
I purchased signed books from the websites. There was actually a really big young adult conference in Charleston that I was going to go to, and then I found out you can just buy the books, because I didn't really want to go there and stand in line anyway, because I would never get that many books if I was trying to stand in line. So I found they had a shop on their website that I could order signed copies, which was useful because you don't really get that opportunity very often. Now, because now I have a list of like 10,000 young adult readers, so now I can reach out to authors and say, I'd like to buy a signed copy to use as a giveaway for this list, and it'll be much more likely for them to get back to me. So I'll probably start to do that more.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And you don't want to be sitting in the line with 1,000 teenagers waiting for a book. I've done that.
And I'll do it more for, there's 2 ladders, because for those traditionally published major best-selling authors, they're so big it's really hard to start a relationship with. But there's a lot of indie authors who are doing pretty well. Like if you look on Amazon, 50% of almost everything in the bestseller list is going to be self-published. And so if you find your genre and find those 10 or 25 books that are similar to your book, half of those are going to be indie authors, and they're going to want more opportunities for promotion anyway. So I'll just, like I'm writing a mermaid romance, I'll just find 10 other self-published mermaid romance books on Amazon, and I'll ask them if they want to be part of my group giveaway, and if I can buy a signed copy. Stuff like that should be pretty easy. They might even just send me a signed copy to be included in my giveaway, because I have a big list now. But those are some things, and because they won't have as big of an audience as the major best-selling authors, but they'll promote more, they'll share more. So if you do a giveaway with 25 indie authors, those 25 people are going to share the giveaway with their platform and their list. So you're kind of pooling all these resources to get into one focused thing that's exciting enough that people are going to share. So even if I think it's pretty easy kind of to double your existing platform. So maybe those authors already have 1,000 people who follow them on their lists. So that's 25,000 people that we can reach together. And those 25,000 people are going to share the contest with their friends. So it's kind of an easy way to take where you are and to jump up to another level.
No, that definitely makes sense. So I think giveaways are great. One question that I often get is, how do I promote my giveaway? So you mentioned Facebook targeted advertising. Did you do anything else?
I reached out to some people. I emailed. I have some other lists that I've been building, so I emailed them first. But the kind of tricky thing is you don't really want to appeal to everybody. You want to appeal to just your target readers. So like none of my lists were young adult readers, and I really want young adult readers from like 16 to 23, mostly female. And I don't want people like, if anybody else signs up to that list, it's either because I've already got them on one list, I don't really want them on the new list, or they're just signing up to get free stuff. I've actually found there's a lot of websites that just have contests and people just sign up to win stuff and then they just sell it again. So I've been noticing a lot of people signing up for my contest that I don't think are real people. I think it's just somebody who has 50,000 accounts and they're just, you know, signing up for everything. So you want to be kind of careful with your prize that it doesn't really have a cash value. It's more just like it'll appeal to these readers, but it's not super valuable that anybody can just get it and win it because they can just sell it and give it away. But I've also, part of what I've done, I did some research. So I looked at all the book bloggers in the young adult genre. So I made an email list of 500 book bloggers. And then I did all the YouTubers, all the booktubers who talk about or review young adult books on YouTube. So that's another list of like 300 people. And those are influencers. Those are people who have big platforms or traffic already. So I emailed all of them about the contest, which, you know, it may be only 25% open my email or look at it, but those are all people who have bigger platforms. So if one of them shares it, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
it
you want to,
definitely
I
makes
mean, you want to
sense.
make an effort. If you're going to spend the money on doing a contest, you want to put as much as you can into it.
Okay, talking about spending money, can you share a bit of numbers with us? Because there's Facebook advertising, there's the cost of the giveaway software, there's also
Mhm.
Mailchimp, because after 2,000 emails, it costs you money
Right.
monthly. So, how much do you think you're at so far?
Yeah, Mailchimp is a concern because like I went from 0 to now like $150 a month in Mailchimp because once you get up to above 10,000, so it's definitely a cost, and you don't want to do it long term. So like if I don't finish my books for another year and I'm paying that money every month, that sucks. But actually, once you build that list up, you'll try to boil it down by getting rid of all the people who are just you. Basically, you want to get them signed up for the free thing, and then you want to turn them into real fans of your work who are signed up because they want to hear from you about your writing. So you have to make that transition. So maybe my 10,000 readers, I might get down to 1,000 fans who actually care about my writing. But then, you know, you get under the 2,000 level and you're not paying Mailchimp anymore. So that's kind of my plan. But yeah, it's expensive. For the 10 books might be like $250. King Sumo was $200. I probably spent 200 in Facebook advertising. So you know, like a $600 or $700 giveaway, which sounds like a lot. However, most authors spend money all over the place for marketing. That doesn't really work, and they'll do it long term. So like over a year, I think most authors will spend that much in marketing. They might spend $60 a month. It might be little things they're trying out. It might be like a Twitter blast. It might be they're, you know, messing something up on their website that they want to try out. There's a lot of stuff that you can spend money on that doesn't really work. I think the easiest way, you know, to get to your 1,000 true fans, to the point where you have 1,000 people who are ready to open your email and go buy your book or go download your book. That's kind of like the goal of marketing. If you can get to that point, you don't have to spend money later on advertising or marketing or promotion because you have all the power. You have them on your list already. So I kind of see it as, instead of spending other money later to promote my book, I want to build this list really fast because that's where the most power is.
It's kind of building your own personal bookbub for a very targeted genre.
It is, and everybody knows, because you know, if you do a BookBub ad, it would cost $300 or $400, I think. So if you already have a big email list that's targeted to your specific genre, it can be better than BookPub, depending on how you use it and how you build that relationship. And then
So,
I could also, I mean, the other thing you can do with a list, like I could email them every month and say, here are my top 10 recommendations for young adult science fiction of this month, if I do that with my Amazon links and I send it out to 10,000 people, I could be making a little bit of money every month, at least enough, to pay for the list.
That is true. Yeah, through the Amazon affiliates. That's a good idea. One thing that I hear a lot about giveaways that they don't convert as well. A list built through giveaways doesn't convert as well as a list obviously built organically through backlinks at the end of their books, or a list even built through Facebook advertising. So you haven't found out now because you haven't published the books yet, but in terms of the first few emails that you've sent, do you feel like there's lots of unsubscribes or very low open rate?
Let me look. It has a 52% open rate, which is not so bad.
No,
oh, it's 55% and 9% clicks. So out of my 10,000 people, I get like 1,000 clicks when I send an email, which is basically like that's basically the goal, because I want oops, where'd you go? Hold on, I lost my window where the Google is. Oh, there it is. Like the idea is, and there's a couple ways. Most authors probably aren't using it right. They're probably giving away free stuff, and then they try to sell their book right away. So they say, thanks for signing up for the free stuff, go buy my book. That's not going to work, because first you have to educate them about who you are. And that's kind of a weird process, because they're going to sign up to win these free books. They don't know that I'm an author yet. That's not why they sign up for the list. But there's ways to slowly introduce them to that idea and to introduce them to me. It's not by selling them my book. It's not by saying, hey, I wrote this book, you can go buy it now. I'll do other giveaways. The King Sumo is kind of like its own website, so it takes over the whole page. And Rafflecopter, you put on a page in your website. So in the first contest, they can't see anything about me. It's just one simple page, and they just sign up. But I'll do another smaller campaign that's Rafflecopter, so that when they go there, they actually see my blog. And so they can see who I am, and they can read around if they want to. So that's kind of like an indirect way to introduce them to the fact that I'm also writing books. And I won't try to sell books to this list, because I plan to launch all my books with free campaigns. So I'm mainly using it for free downloads and book reviews. So I'll find, like, if I can give away 1,000 copies of my book, and I give them a reason to go download it and review it, I can probably get a couple hundred reviews in the first couple days of my launch. And that's the problem that most authors never get over. Most authors are like 5 years in, and they still have 5 or 10 reviews on their books, because they've never found a way to get book reviews. And book reviews are going to kill you if you're not getting a lot. And the main reason is people try to charge too early, and they don't sell very many. And you only get like maybe 1% of the people who download or buy your book are going to leave a review. So you need to be getting thousands of downloads to get enough reviews to make it a sustainable business. So for me, having 10,000 people on a list for free downloads and for a lot of book reviews is really powerful, but not in the way that it won't sell books directly. After I get all those book reviews, after I get, I'll do a free campaign, so I'll get up to #1 in my category. Then I can take like screenshots and say, I'm #1, I'm at the top of my list. Those are good for promotion. All of that stuff later on will help the book sell long term. Like if I want to get 100 reviews on launch, but every month after that, it's going to be much easier for me to sell the book. And so the profit comes long term down the road, but it doesn't really come from the list that I'm building.
Makes perfect sense. And I think even if like Mailchimp, even if giveaway lists don't convert as well, it's even better, because as we mentioned, Mailchimp costs money, so it's better to kind of get rid of the people who are not going to open the emails. The more unsubscribed, actually, the better. And
it's actually kind of fun, because they're young kids who like free stuff. So when I tell them, and I can do promotions with other authors. So I'll find like 10 other indie authors, and I'll say, do you want to make your book free for a day? And we'll do a promotion. I can introduce their book to 10,000 people, which is really going to help build their platform. So those kind of things, even though they're reading it for free, I was talking with Mark Coker last week of Smashwords, and he said, if I could pay someone like $10,000 to get 1 million downloads, I would totally do it, because he knows giving away that many books is the only way to get really long-term sustainable success, because you don't want like 10 sales a month, because you'll never grow your platform enough. You want to be everywhere. If 1 million people get it and 10,000 people really like it, then you can set up yourself to be a bestseller later, because there's a lot of readers. I mean, in my genre, young adult fantasy, there's probably 50 to 100 million readers in the US who like these kind of books. So if I can give away 1 million of them, that's nothing. There's still a lot of people who will buy it later, but I have to prove that it's valuable first by getting a lot of reviews and a lot of downloads.
Yeah, and the good thing with YA and YA readers that they're totally into the digital age, so they're going to buy on Amazon. They're more receptive to giveaways, as you mentioned. They like free stuff. They're on social media. There's even a subreddit just for YA writers.
Right.
So they're quite easy to reach, and they're kind of receptive to everything digital.
I was worried that they would be worse from email, because they don't use email that much. They're always on social media or Instagram or something. So I was afraid they wouldn't be opening my emails. But I also think they don't get a lot of emails from, like, when their inbox probably isn't very big, because they're young. They don't really have like a business that runs by email. So that might work out in my favor, that as long as, like, I can't come across as spammy and I can't sell them stuff, but if I set myself up well so they know who I am and they open my emails, it should be pretty successful. It depends. We'll see, like, once I finish some books, but also when I start promoting some other people's books, it'll be interesting to see how many downloads I can get, but it should be, I mean, I think over 1,000 is reasonable. Downloads will put you in #1 of any category.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think so too. So Rafflecopter and King Sumo, do you use two different segments or groups on Mailchain, or do you have one big list?
I just have one. And King Sumo is better for getting email signups. It's really simple. So you get the email sign up first, and then it gives you links to share. Rafflecopter is really good because you can add a lot of different things. So they can sign up to your email, and then they can earn points for doing different stuff. So especially, like, if I just need Facebook followers or Twitter followers, I want to boost my followers really quickly, I can do a smaller thing. Like, right now I'm giving away these book lamps. Like, you open the book and the light shines out. They're not expensive, but they're super cool. So I can email my list of, like, I did this one, I think, yesterday. So I emailed my list. Now I have 10,000 young adult readers, and I said, hey, I have this other giveaway to win a free book lamp. And 3,000 people have liked, or they've joined the giveaway. So they like my Facebook page and they follow me on Twitter. So that's 3,000 extra followers really quickly. And I'm only spending, the book lamp was like $25. So I didn't spend very much money to do it. But to boost up your numbers really fast, you can use cheaper prizes or smaller prizes. So I would even, I think to get their attention, it might have to be a really big thing, or a kind of expensive thing. But once you've got them on your list, you can be increasing engagement, or you could do a giveaway a month and just give away one book, or just something smaller.
Okay, makes sense. Last question. So when do you plan on publishing your Mermaid YA?
I'm going back and forth. When I started out, I was planning on serializing. I'm planning to do the Hugh Howey thing. So instead of having one novel that's 100,000 words, 120,000 words, I would have 3 or 4 parts, and I would just publish part 1, which would be the first. Originally, I was going to publish like the first 10,000 words of the novel, because instead of writing one novel, I'm going to write 10 novels, but only write the beginning, and then just write whichever one is the most successful. 10,000 words is probably too short, so now I get up to like 25,000 words, and I'm still probably going to publish like part 1 of each book and publish 10 books before I commit to a whole book. But I'm on the fence. I'm not completely sure, but I keep going back and forth. But the advantage is I'm already kind of done with 5 or 6 books to the 25,000 word point. So I could just clean them up a little and put them out there. And the advantage is that you can see how they do. So even if they're not perfect, even if you're going to improve them later or fix them later, I can just ask my list. I can say, I'm a new writer. I'm just testing this out. I just want to see if you like the idea of this story. And I can publish it as, for free or for 99 cents as a 25,000 word book. If I tell them it's not a complete book, it's just like a sample, it probably isn't going to hurt me. But then I can have some stuff out that will be list building in the meantime. So while I finish all of those books, if I can have 10 free books out of the first part that gets people into my email list, that could be really powerful too. So I'll probably do that maybe this month, maybe next month. I mean, but I have to, once I go back through and start editing and cleaning up, I might realize I'm not quite there yet. So we'll see.
No, it's really interesting. That's really lean publishing 5 different stories and seeing which one drives most.
I know a lot of readers don't like the idea, but it's usually because they don't like paying for an incomplete story and because they were surprised. I think as long as readers aren't surprised, as long as you tell them what they're going to get really clearly, and like in the sales description and in the front of the book, I'd make it really clear what's happening. And this is just the first, like, part one. So I don't think I'll get negative reviews, especially if they're my list and they already know who I am. And I tell them, like, I explain what I'm doing in the email. And I also kind of want to do it just because I like to do things other people aren't doing so that I can do it as a case study and talk about what I'm doing and how successful it was, because that's the kind of thing people pay attention to. And it's going to be much harder. Like if I finish my first big novel and I just have that one book, it's hard to make any money with that one book because I'd have to put it out for free or 99 cents, even if it's 120,000 words. But if I break it down, I can do like free for the first part and then 99 cents for the next 3 parts and then $2.99 or $3.99 for the whole book. So really you have like one book, but you're turning it into 4 or 5 pieces of content. So if I have my 10 novels, I have 50 pieces of content on Amazon, which I think will earn a lot more than the 10 novels would. And I could be putting them out a lot earlier so they could be building my list and building fans. So I think it's probably a good idea, but I don't know. We'll see. It could be a little risky.
It sounds awesome, and I definitely want to interview you again once you've been through
I'll see how that goes.
It's certainly interesting because our last hangout was with Lean Pub, who are very much into this concept of lean publishing and publishing often and repeating. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for being with us and telling us about those giveaways. As usual, I'll write kind of a transcript, the main points of the interview for our listeners, and put it up on the ReadSee blog very soon.
Okay.
Have a good day, Derek.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.